shows to know that that might be faked. Okay. Mr. Stephen Pearl, yakshimash.
Thank you. Good to be here. Thank you. I'm the champ. It's out of the park. What's going on?
Oh, no. Really? You need me to tell? You've not been watching the news.
I've been watching the news. I got it on right. You can't see on the camera. There's a TV with the sound on. I'm watching the country burn down.
So when we see the look of shock and horror in your face, we'll pretty much know the interview's over, right? That's like, oh, wow.
You can't tell if they're riding in Philadelphia because it was always a shithole.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, I said it and I'm glad. And your cream cheese sucks too.
Yeah, I'm going to go a step further. Really, American cheese on a steak sandwich, just wrong. Just wrong.
Your bella's cracked and you gave us Fabian. Fuck you.
Oh, whoa.
Turn me loose. Whoa.
Great. Now for the first time in my, I should have known better. The first time my show's going to come with a parental advisory warning.
Oh, sorry.
I really should have thought that out. Oh well, I was just excited, man, because like I said,
Triple X contains bootleg whiskey.
From a cartoon.
Yeah. The fun never started.
It has for me, and that's basically going to be the interview. Just me laughing, just letting you go off on a rail. That's
whatever you want. I'm off the floor. Anything.
Oh my goodness, man! You've been doing comedy for how long? Because you were doing comedy when I met you 30 years ago. Okay,
so I feel like Steve McQueen at the end of Poppy, and I was shaking my fist at the sea. I'm still here, you bastards. I started in 77.
77.
I started. Elvis was alive, and Son of Sam was on the loose. That tells you how old I am.
Wow. Well, you wear it well. It's all the preservatives, no doubt, right?
There's a painting of me of a skull, right next to the machine.
Oh, well, and of course you are. Well, you are what I would dub a comedian's comedian, because most of the stuff you do involves intelligence and thinking, and that's not what sells in the mainstream world. You've been your own little rebel.
I know, man. I'm still rebelling. I don't know what the rebelling is anymore, but I'm still rebelling. So, James Dean at 89.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, yeah, the thing, yeah. Well, we know you're not rebelling against meds time, that's for sure.
No, never. No coffee or weed. No, I don't rebel against that. I rebel with it.
Oh, there we are, man. Yeah. And it's amazing. It's amazing to see you get kinetic without, an actual physical audience. So that's always a joy.
I'm just into my usual psychotic self. I'm on personality number 4 today. So,
So basically, when you're performing, you are performing for a room full of people. Your own personality.
Today, I'm Beverly, the boisterous cowgirl.
Oh man! Back in the day, you ran with Sam, right? Obviously, Sam.
I was the Norman Fell of that Rat Pack. I didn't do the Alamo shows. I was like,
way down.
I'm big payback at Arch Johnson.
Yeah, it's like, hey, Carl, Alec, come here, Steven. No, go over there. No, you're good. You're good, Steve.
Carl, keep company. We'll talk to you later. We'll talk to you when we need to. Get us why did I fight on the freeway? Yeah.
Oh my!
Even the comedy stores are paid regular. He helped. I auditioned for Mitzi. She was in her seat, and Sam knew what was going on to do my little 3-minute audition set. This was the end of '86. And Sam blocked her in and said, "You better hire this guy, or I'm going to burn this place to the ground." I had a great set, and she put me in that night, so I was very lucky.
Well, yeah. Well, you always have a great. Have you ever? Everybody. There's usually 2 responses to a Steve Pearl set. Okay, there is just outrageous laughter, or there is just stunned silence. People going, "What was that about?" Has that ever devolved into anything more than that?
Usually the people who were like the club owners and the producers and the guys are gonna and the audience. I'm a welder, but I thought you were funny. I'm a drawbridge oiler. Boy, I wish I could help your career, but I can't do shit for you. Need a toll taker? Maybe you want to plow on Monday. Go see.
There you go. Well, who are the comedians that you knew over the course of your career that you really thought should have made it that never saw the light?
Oh God, there's a million of them, man. There's
yeah.
Honestly, they didn't make it because they worked and they made a decent living as comedians. But there's Rich Shire should be a household word. Bruce Brown should be a household word. Denny Johnson should be a household word. Felicia Michaels is very funny. Can't forget the ladies.
Yes.
And there's just so many, man. There's lots. Most people haven't gotten to where they deserve to be, who I think are really funny. The best.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Should be a household world. Charlie Hill should be a household world.
Oh, God rest his soul, man. I love it.
He was my brother from another tribe, man. We had a
I tell you what, it's nice to be a part of history, because I used to pick up Leonard's calls to Charlie.
Oh, really?
Back when I worked up outside of Mike Becker's office. So,
oh, wow. That's very cool.
I'd always see you coming in there back in the days when Dino and Jim were working the talent office. And you come in, I'm just here to check on my spots. And I would sit there and I'm like, okay, Steve, I really got to answer the phones. And I couldn't stop laughing. And I'm like, I really, there's a phone call, Steve. Come on.
He'll call you back.
Okay, yeah. We're in the middle of a set here. Okay, yeah. He's on a roll,
Yeah, the comedy store was fun back in the day. So, I got in '86. And that was a long time ago. I've already been doing it like 9 years by then. So.
Well, yeah, you were doing it a long time by then. And then, like you said, I came on the scene 4 years later. And honestly, I saw you, and honestly, the whole reason I told John this when I interviewed him, which is why you're here. Thank you, John Krang.
How you doing?
Hey, Johnny boy.
Sarah wants to meet us in Mulligan's Bar tonight. You're going to tell us all about how he invented show business. If John's watching that, he's cracking up right now.
Oh my goodness! Well, yeah. Well, he went on quite a bit about Sensei Nick the last.
Yes, we know him well. We did anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we did that on camera. We were, but you guys, I saw, of course, you guys back and forth on Facebook. But there were. I gotta ask about this. Okay, I'm going to say 2 words, and I'm just going to watch the revulsion in your face when I say them. Kipadada. It was your personal goal in life, just to kind of torment him. I mean, that was.
He fucked with me. I got him back good. And
oh god,
he was an asshole. He was racist. He was a pig. He was a drunk. He was a he was a great comic and he mastered the. He was a cunt as a person, and that's
the worst. He really was.
He was a horrible, extremely damaged, angry, bitter, spirit-crushing soul, and I'm so glad I don't have that kind of soul, because wherever he went, it can't be a good place.
Yeah,
it's where Charles Manson went, and Spiro Agnew and Jack Carter and people like
Charles Manson died. When did he die?
Yeah, sure, on stage in Altoona last
week. Well, he's
trying to get through to the bone, and you can't.
Kipadada is his placeholder, right? Okay, I got you. I'm saving the seat. I'm saving the seat for the celebrity that gets here. Charles Manson.
I just didn't like him, and I was just glad.
Awful
person I sound like. I was glad when that son of a bitch died. So.
Wow.
Assholes I ever met in my life. I won't say the other 2 because they're dead too. So I won. But,
you won. Oh my goodness. Did any of them have the initials SS?
I get straight to the street. SS. Don't like those letters.
Well, but S, but more in a Skippy way, Skip Stevenson.
Oh no, I like Skip very much.
No, I like you. Skip was great. That was.
He was in trouble, but he's a good
guy. Yeah, he was. But he was. I still remember his bits talking about gun control. He didn't know you were gonna blow his ass away with a nuclear grenade launcher from 500 yards away.
Had a very pleasant, likable act, and I remember when Sam was really popular, he tried being like Sam for a while. Well, fuck that guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's trying to be an outlaw. It didn't work with that Peter Tork face of his.
Oh no! Exactly. The missing monkey. There you go.
I was married for 5 fucking years too.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, it didn't work for him. Not in the least.
No. He had a very pleasant act. Stay with it. It works.
Oh well, we're talking about your buddies, and Alan Stevens still kicking around, correct?
Yeah, well, I saw him a couple months ago. He was here visiting Carl LeBeau, and I was visiting Carl.
All right. Where are you? Are you out in Vegas now? Are you
here September 6th, 2018?
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Well, hey man, that's why I haven't seen you around the haunts here. So you still show up from here from time to time, right?
Yeah.
Obviously.
I haven't been. Are you in LA? Is that where you?
Yeah, I'm still in Sherman Oaks.
I haven't been in LA for quite a while. So, I moved up north in 2009. I reconnected with an old girlfriend I hadn't seen in 23 years, which was nice.
Oh.
Came down here, and the air is bad for her, so she can't live here. So she's back up there again, and which is very weird. And it's me and the cats, which is fine. And this goes a weed store a block away. And I just moved to Vegas and I started working again. There wasn't not much of a scene in Northern California anymore like there used to be.
No, because that's where you came out of. Robin, Rick Overton, and a slew of others. But I'm kind of feeling depressed about my life because all of a sudden I hear you talking about your life. Oh, I live here and I'm a block away from a weed store. Check. It's me and the cats. Check. I'm like, oh God, this is my future.
There you go. Not so bad. Don't worry.
Well, no.
Hurt that much.
If I can be as entertaining as you in my future, I think I'm good. I think I'm very good.
Just stay high and don't worry about nothing.
But like
anyway, sooner or later you gotta keel over, so just enjoy every day if you can.
Oh man, yeah. Who was your most who was the guy you were most excited about taking the stage with? You were doing a show and you're like, oh my God, this guy's on it. Oh wow, this is.
Working with Johnny Winter, man. I love him. He was my friend. He was the best fucking guitar player I ever heard. And I got we used to hang whenever he was in town or whenever I was near him.
I love it. So it wasn't a comedian. It was a musician. I saw it.
I got to open some of the show. It was the last hang we had 3 months before he passed away. And it was a perfect closure. We hung out. I opened 3 shows. I killed 3 shows. I'm coming off stage after I introduced the band, and my hero of all time, a man who fucked Janis Joplin, who jammed with Jimi Hendrix, who played Woodstock, who Muddy Waters called his son, said, that was funny as hell, Steven. That was great. So that made me feel good. So working with Johnny was a thrill. And
I love that. I remember seeing him. I remember seeing him in passing when they reopened the Forum. When the Eagles played.
Way back in the Eagles days.
No, but yeah, they had reopened the Forum. About like a decade ago? Has it been like a decade since they reopened it as a music venue? And so, that's I remember him. But wow, and he's the only guy that makes me feel not so white. So that's well, he and Edgar,
Use the sunscreen 8 billion. So.
Oh God! Now I had to see my. You see, that's the bad part. I have to see myself while I'm talking to you, going, "Oh my Lord, is that what I look?"
You look good. You look
well, thank you. I wasn't fishing for it, but I'm glad you gave it.
You look nice. You got the green. You look the healthy. Everything is good.
Leo Gallagher.
Yeah, Leo Gallagher.
Gallagher.
Wow. When I played on the Laugh Factory at the Tropicana a few years ago, I moved here. Harry brought me out, and I drove from.
Oh, there we go. That's the Harry Bass
there. So I knew, of course, I knew who he was, but I never met him. And
you never met him at the Comedy Store?
Never met him. No,
are you serious? Holy crud! Yeah. He probably bugged out because you'd show up like late at night. You come wandering.
Oh yeah, I'm the 1 a.m. set guy. So
exactly, yeah, and you had to
play sound, put Pearl on, so he'll get good evening.
Okay, that didn't work. Put Barris up.
The walls leave when that son of a bitch is on. The roaches go.
I knew I had to pull out the big guns yesterday. We couldn't get this all lined up. Don't make me put up Don Barris. Oh my goodness.
Fat, man.
Oh man. But yeah.
Well, I got some mayonnaise up my nose when I hear that name.
Yeah, I knew this was going to go off the rails. You know what? You got to take risks in life, and so I'm gonna put on Captain Potty Mouth and just run with it. There we go.
What do we care? What do we care? Come on, we're rebels. Break some.
We're rebels. Now, did you ever get any screen time, dude?
I was in a movie called '88 called Comedy's Dirtiest Dozen. It was a stand-up film with Bill Hicks and Chris Rock and Tim Allen.
Oh.
And, a bunch of other guys. They were the guys who made it out of there.
Yeah.
And it was a very good film. I think you get it for like 12 cents on Amazon or something.
Well,
a lot of good comics on it, and Monty Hoffman, and he's the synopsis of everybody else's act. I'm gonna do all the shit those guys did, Dave. And he's another discovery of that that frog-faced doofus Rick Messina. So, thanks for signing that rapist. Anyway.
Oh wow! Yeah, there is. But really, Steve, tell me how you feel.
I don't give a shit. At this age, I don't give a shit, man.
You don't. At this point,
what can they do to me that show business has not already done? Fuck that.
Oh wow! Jeez. Because and of course, immediately I see you, and I think of guys like the Todd.
Wow, I've heard he's still alive. I did an interview with Mark Price. He said he speaks to him now and then. So.
Oh well, John was convinced he was gone. Yeah, that's the big mystery.
I've heard he's among the living. Don't quote me.
So yeah. So if Todd is still on the Facebook, I'd love to talk to you. Yeah.
Anyway, he is the face of the earth.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he might have lost some weight. Goodness gracious. Mark Price. So.
Hey, Todd, move over a little bit. I guess.
It's really so. That's hysterical that you mentioned Mark Price after I mentioned Skippy, but I was talking about Skip Stevenson.
There you go.
Ooh, brains in sync.
Stevenson peanut butter type of thing.
Yeah. Pay close attention. This is what happens to me when you don't go to church, kids. Steve Pearl.
John Lennon said, "We never said we were bigger than Jesus. We said we were taller. He was 5'11". You always get me in trouble, John. What are you doing now? What do you think, George? I don't think we'd be prepared for that eventuality. I can do Pete Best. Table 7. Your fries are ready. Table 7. It's fire, Can you imagine like the night John Lennon is shot, like Pete Best is in a saloon in Liverpool somewhere, going, woo, woo, woo. I haven't seen him this happy since he was in the Beatles, buying drinks for the whole place on a welder's pay. Oh, that was horrible.
Oh, well, it's close. It's close enough. As I've already, the audience has been warned. Okay, so if they watch, they're at their own risk, and I'll break up everything into nice, safe little sections. So you'll have your interview for everybody that just wants to live dangerously, and we'll have the rest of the show for everybody else.
It's only words, folks. It's only words. I ain't heard nobody.
Exactly. At the end of the day, it's a word riot, but it's no
need to be scared. No need to assassinate me. I'm back. I'm on life number 7. Having fun, boy.
I'm having a blast. Oh.
Pretty mouth.
As I've stated, the only guy to ever be told by Jim Carrey and Robin Williams, bring it down a notch. Oh man, even Joey Diaz. I was Pearl, really. He is. Oh man, I saw. You and Marin hung out too, right? Back in the day.
Sure.
Yeah.
I had to get off my couch a few nights.
because when I saw Joey Diaz, I told this to John too. I said when I saw Joey Diaz on Marin's show, the first person I thought of was Danny Stone.
Oh God! Hey, Mitzi, I love you, Mitzi. Danny Stone was an alleged comic and the dumbest guy in the world. His IQ was like 1.7. It was. Was
it you that told? There was somebody at the Comedy Store that you see that guy right there. That is the classic New York example of a Goomba. That is a Goomba. And I forgot who said that to me, but that is hung with me. And every time I see someone behaving like Danny Stone, that word is Goomba.
Oh yeah. I remember when he parked in front of the Comedy Store to do a set, and the cops were giving him a ticket.
Yeah.
And he sees through the big window he's got a ticket, so he runs off stage. Do with the cop, and the cop ends up cuffing him. It could have. And then
right there by his Nick Nolte Cadillac from Lou Ellis.
Yeah. And he says to the cop, by the way, the coke you'll find in my back pocket isn't mine. So.
Oh my Lord. Oh man. Oh, but apparently Mitzi attracted a type, didn't she?
That's just, I want to think of the two of them together.
Oh man. Oh well, I did see. I saw Joey Gaynor. So and that was
Joey. How's he doing?
He was doing good, man. I saw him. I went to one of those. I went to one of those lovely bowling alley shows, and that's where I ran into him and Barry Sobel.
Oh my God! Oh God! He's come to this.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like but yeah, Joey's doing good. He looks well.
Good.
I gotta say.
Good.
But oh man, but like I said,
was he?
He was. Yeah, he was very, very loud.
I like Joey because he goes up to 11.
Spinal Tap reference. Yeah. I knew if I waited long enough, we'd get a good one. Okay. Very well done. Yeah, but I just you guys, just like I said, 30 years ago, and it comes back like that. The second I see you here, and so yeah,
still here.
It's funny, and thank you, because now I got to chase down Mark Price, because now I got to chase him down. So basically, I'm playing connect the comedian dots. So far, Krang has worked very well.
You're up to the P's right now. So
Pearl, yeah, there we go.
Jackson Purdue, and then
well, you know what? I already begged Jackson too. So yeah, and matter of fact, he got bumped for you. So
sorry, Jackson, that's the way it goes.
Jackson's like, what's he talking about? Jeez, yeah, because I still got to go back and get Blake Clark. So
definitely gotta get Blake.
I really do, and the guy back when I was at the Comedy Store. There was the guy I called him my father in comedy, which explains why I didn't end up successful, Dave Tyree.
Oh my God! He's not your father. He's not your father.
Oh man, I'm trying to. There were a few others that. Who was the rock and roll comedian? Rick.
Rick Wright.
Rick Wright. Yeah.
He's in England now.
He's in England now. Yeah, I saw that courtesy of Stephen Allen Green's thing.
The man they won't let into England.
Yeah, God bless his heart. I call this show Asylum tonight. The question is, I ask you, aside from yourself, who would you see from your past in the comedy world being locked away in an asylum?
Oh God, I'm the guy. I'm the poster boy right here. So.
Well, yeah. Well, we pretty much gathered that, but you know, who would be sharing that room with you that was paid for with your HMO?
Oh my God, there's just let's see. Do they have to be alive? Could they be?
Well, you know what? It doesn't matter. I think you know. I say no. I say go for it.
Oh, they got it. Okay, yeah. I'd like to see Robin again, and
Oh yeah.
We shared the same rubber room on several occasions, so you know.
Yeah, there you go. Did you stay up at the Manor?
I've been there. Yeah, I've been there.
Did you live up there at all?
I don't live there. No, I haven't.
No, you just went up for. You just went. Yeah.
Hey, Robin, can I live in it? Can I follow you, balls?
Well, no. I was talking about the Comedy Store. The Comedy Store Manor. I should have.
No. She wanted me to move in when I first came to town. And no. My days are mine. Okay, you won't see me in the day most of the time, but at nighttime you'll see me at the Comedy Store. I'm not gonna. No. I don't want to live with a bunch of comics. So I had. So
the next time I run into you, should I be bringing holy water if I don't see you during the day?
Bring weed, lots of weed.
Oh, there you
go. The cats like that. Bring some lobster. The cats love lobster. Upper crust. Oh.
All right, this was worth the wait, definitely. Thank you, Stephen. Oh my goodness.
That's it.
Well, did we? You want to go? We can go, man. We can go to town on this. I was trying to be courteous of your schedule because you mentioned daytime, and that's when we're recording this. It's supposed to be Asylum tonight, but we're in the midst of daylight, so obviously.
Okay. Fair enough.
I was going to give your day back to you so you could go out and look at the smoke plumes coming up from
I'm going to watch the smoke bombs in living color right now. So
there we go.
Oh, thanks.
Which in living color was the whole reason this all started. You know that, right?
That's right.
So, Wayne's Brothers. It's all on you, man.
It's when we let them play that blues music, then they got ideas.
Yeah. It boggles the mind. It just,
what mind I have left is boggled. It's just boggled. I can't.
Yeah. Well, sadly, sadly, if certain people get their way, people like you and I, we're
movie I'm in, by the way. 30 shows, and I'm in it with Joey. No, Joey Gaynor's not in it. But Blue Iris is in it, and Eddie Mecca from Laverne and Shirley is in it.
Oh my goodness!
But I'm in it. So go out and don't buy it.
Well, there we go. What a way to end the set. Okay, so that's the great thing is I could edit back to that, but I could edit back just before that plug. It's like.
There's a picture of Dr. Phil being crucified. I hope you enjoy this.
Oh well, there we go. Oh man, yeah.
Welcome to the Pearl Gallery.
All right, and this portion of our Scared Straight program brought to you by Xanax.
Oh, let me do a plug. I did a podcast show a few years ago. I don't do it right now, but it's still running. It's Rifferendum, RIFFERENDUM.com. And I interviewed Robin Williams, and I interviewed Tom Dreesen, and I interviewed Johnny Winter, and I interviewed Edgar Winter, and Felicia Michaels, and Carrie Snow, and a whole bunch of good people. So you might want to check that out.
One more time, man. Just bringing that up because I'm not going to repeat it. One more time with feeling now.
RIFFERENDUM.com. It's my podcast show with interviews with like a lot of good people. Check it out.
Well, there you go. And you should load that up to Apple Podcasts, man.
If I knew how. Last time I tried doing something like that, I started a fire. I'm not good with computers.
Well, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I do owe you for doing this, so I can help you with that. So.
Oh, God bless you. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I wasn't ready to take your number, but I think I'll take that risk. I might come to regret that if you have mine in return.
You will.
But yeah, I'm serious. I'll be happy to help you with that.
Oh, cool.
Because I mean, just for the guests alone. I mean,
good interviews. It's just like it's friends talking. It's good stuff.
Exactly. Well, it's an insane posse there, and so Felicia Michaels also on my list. So,
sure, yeah.
Mentioning insane posse.
I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about. That is wildly inappropriate, Daniel. Shame on you.
That's right.
This is what happens when I hang out with you, Steve Pearl.
That's right. And they
did that finger end up on the camera? Good. This is what happens. I blame you. I blame the system.
Behind the bar and smoke Q-tips later. I'm going to teach you the bad life. Then we're going to pick up a couple little harpies, and mine will have an immune system, and yours will have teeth. I know how to take a friend. And then
that's very generous of you compared to the last time we picked up harpies.
There you go. You'll get cinnamon tempest. She loves to drink, but boy, does she have a good personality. Sometimes she takes off a top and dances on the table singing "My Heart Belongs to Daddy." That's not the movie.
All right. Well, on that wildly inappropriate note, I bid you adieu.
Thank you. Adieu.